Hi, welcome to another video annotation here at teachmechess.com. Today we're going to look at a game between Morphy and allies with a very simple theme, and that's development. Here we're going to see a 17-move mate played by Morphy and a beautiful attack that allowed it simply because he was more developed. Play begins with e4 and continues into a Philidor's defense. And you see here, after pawn takes e5, bishop takes knight, queen takes, and pawn recaptures on e5, it's white's turn, and he already has one piece developed. So the development is 1-0, white's turn. So white develops his bishop, and black responds by developing the knight, blocking the mate threat on f7. Now it's white's turn with the development 2-1. White moves one of his developed pieces for a second time, but with a very key threat. He's attacking the b7 pawn as well as the f7 pawn with his queen-bishop battery. This battery here, with the threat on b7, forces a very specific move out of black, and that's queen e7. The downfall to this move for black is he's blocking his dark-squared bishop, which, as you'll see in just a few moves, is a very crucial weakness in his position because he's unable to get developed on the king side and castled to safety. Here, Morphy plays knight to c3, missing a very simple tactic of bishop takes f7. If the queen takes the bishop, then the b7 pawn falls and the rook on a8 falls. So black would simply have to move the king to d8. White could pick up the pawn, and you would see the exchange on b4, and black is simply down 2 pawns. So Morphy missed that, but knight c3, and white is still winning. We see pawn to c6, allowing the queen to defend b7, and white continues development. The development is now 4 for white, 2 for black. Here, with this move, pawn to b5, black is trying to force white back, giving him time to catch up in development. But instead of retreating the piece and allowing black to have a little bit of queenside space and catch up on the development, he sacks his knight for the 2 pawns, keeping 3 pieces developed and a lot of tactical themes. Both his bishops have pins. One pin is against the knight on f6 against the queen, and the other is against the knight on d7 against the king. So here, the development is 3-3, but white's pieces are significantly more active, and white has more significant threats. Additionally, black's king is stuck in the center, and white is going to have a pretty easy time getting at it with mate threats. So play continues with queenside castle that immediately brings the rook into play on the d-file, threatening to win the knight. Black develops his rook to the d-file in defense, and now white sacks the rook for the knight, which was absolutely brilliant, because by sacking this rook and black's d8 rook taking back, the rook on d7 is now pinned to the king, and white can bring his only inactive piece, the rook on h1, into the game now with a very powerful threat. Something to remember here is that the knight on f6 is not much of a defender of the d7 square because it's pinned to the black queen. Play continues with a desperate move, trying to formulate some type of defense. Queen to e6. Even if white had taken the queen, white would still have a better game. But instead, Morphy goes with bishop takes rook. And here, the only way to avoid checkmate was queen takes bishop, which, if queen takes bishop, white can simply take the queen and be winning, or white even has some stronger options to be able to pick up more than just the queen exchange, than just going up the queen to a rook. But black took back with knight, which is a forced mate. Queen to b8, one legal move, knight takes queen, and rook d8 checkmate. Now this is a very short video. I just wanted to show this game here so that people could see how significant development is, and also how keeping your opponent's king in the center of the board is a key element in an attack.